What if I told you that the most powerful thing you can do to attract a man has nothing to do with your looks, your clothes, or playing hard to get? What if it was something deeper, something primal, something that taps into the very core of his psychology? We're talking about an attraction so magnetic and genuine, it feels almost effortless. Well, according to the groundbreaking work of psychologist Carl Jung, that one thing does exist. It's a concept hidden deep within the male unconscious that, when activated, creates an instant and powerful connection. Today, we're moving beyond superficial tricks and into the realm of archetypes and the unconscious mind to uncover the one thing that instantly creates an intense, magnetic, and genuine attraction for 99% of men. And trust me, it's not what you think. The internet is flooded with advice on how to attract a man. We've all heard it and maybe even tried it. Be mysterious, play hard to get, laugh at his jokes, wait 3 days to text back. While some of these behaviors might generate a fleeting reaction or a short-term burst of interest on a surface level, they often share the same critical flaws. They are fundamentally manipulative, treating connection like a transaction or a game to be won. They require you to monitor your every move, to construct a persona rather than be a person, and that is utterly exhausting. Most importantly, these tactics rarely, if ever, pave the way for a real, lasting, and deeply satisfying connection. They might attract attention, but they don't attract a soul. This approach leaves so many people feeling frustrated and confused, wondering why a spark fizzles out or why a promising start doesn't evolve into something more substantial. It's because we're focusing on the symptoms of attraction, not the source. We're trying to hack the outcome without understanding the underlying operating system. To find a real answer, we have to move beyond the superficial playbook of tactics and descend into the far more fascinating realm of archetypes and the unconscious mind. This journey isn't about learning a new trick, it's about understanding a fundamental part of the human psyche. This is about authentic attraction, a pull that is magnetic precisely because it is genuine and resonates on a level that simple games can never reach. To truly grasp what creates that powerful, almost irresistible draw for a man, we need a new lens through which to view human connection. This requires leaving behind the modern, often shallow, dating advice and turning to the timeless work of the profound Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung. His explorations into the depths of the human psyche provide the missing pieces to this puzzle. The key to unlocking this mystery lies in understanding two of his most powerful and interconnected concepts, the anima and psychological projection. These are not just dry psychological terms. They are the master keys to the hidden doors of attraction, explaining not just the initial spark, but the profound sense of recognition and fascination that can feel like destiny itself. According to Carl Jung, the human psyche is not a monolithic entity but a complex tapestry of conscious and unconscious elements. For a man, one of the most significant and influential components residing in his unconscious is a feminine psychological counterpart, which Jung termed the anima. This is not a literal spirit or a ghost in the machine, but rather an innate, archetypal image of the feminine that is an integral part of his own psychology. It represents the feminine principle within a man's own being, a fundamental layer of his personality that exists beneath the surface of his conscious identity and daily life. This inner figure is not formed in a vacuum. The anima is a composite, a deeply ingrained image shaped and colored by every significant interaction and impression of the feminine he has ever encountered. It is woven from the fabric of his relationship with his mother, his experiences with sisters, early childhood crushes, formative first loves, and the collective ideals of femininity presented in culture, literature, and myth. From the nurturing mother to the captivating muse, from the wise sibyl to the powerful goddess, these impressions coalesce into a singular, though complex, inner image that becomes a permanent part of his psychic structure. This anima is far more than a passive memory. It is an active and powerful lens that fundamentally shapes how a man perceives and relates to women in the external world. It acts as a filter through which he sees all femininity, and it is the psychic organ responsible for his capacity to form deep emotional bonds, access his creativity, and experience the full spectrum of love and connection. When this inner image is positive and integrated, it allows for rich relationships and a well-rounded personality. When it is negative or troubled, it can lead to projection, misunderstanding, and conflict. It is, in many ways, the gateway to his inner emotional world. Therefore, when a man encounters a woman in the real world who, through her energy, her demeanor, her words, or her essence, happens to embody a positive aspect of this deeply buried inner image, the psychological effect is nothing short of electrifying. It triggers a profound sense of recognition and resonance that feels less like meeting someone new and more like encountering something deeply familiar and longed for. This is the source of that inexplicable spark or feeling of chemistry that defies logical explanation. He is captivated not merely by her, but by the reflection of his own soul he sees in her, a glimpse of a hidden part of himself made manifest. This connection feels instantly significant because, on an unconscious level, it is. This inner anima, however, is not a static portrait tucked away in the archives of the unconscious. It is a dynamic, living force that actively seeks expression and manifestation in the outer world. It yearns to be made real, to be seen and interacted with. This innate desire for expression is the engine behind one of the most powerful and often misunderstood psychological processes, projection. This is where the theoretical becomes tangible, and where the true magic, and occasional chaos, of human connection begins. Projection is the unconscious mechanism by which we cast our inner contents onto the people and situations around us, and in the realm of attraction, it is the invisible force that creates the feeling of enchantment. When a man meets a woman who possesses even a faint echo of his inner anima, he unconsciously performs this psychic magic trick. He projects the entirety of that rich, complex, inner feminine image outward and onto her, effectively draping her in the qualities of his archetypal ideal. He is, in that moment, not truly seeing her for who she is in her full individuality. Instead, he is perceiving her through a luminous filter of his own making. This explains the ancient and often painful adage that love is blind, because in these potent early stages, one is often profoundly in love with the projection, with the symbol, rather than the complex and nuanced human being standing before them. She becomes a screen upon which the movie of his inner world is played. The strength of this projection directly correlates to the intensity of the attraction he feels. When the resonance is powerful, it generates that undeniable and often overwhelming sensation of a spark or chemistry that seems to defy all logic. It is the reason behind those common, almost cliché phrases uttered in the throes of infatuation. I feel like I've known you my whole life, or there's just something about you that I can't explain. That indefinable something is not a mystery of fate, but a mystery of the psyche. It is the profound, unconscious recognition of his own anima reflected back at him. He feels deeply understood and connected because he is, quite literally, encountering a part of himself, and the pull toward that wholeness is among the most powerful forces in the human experience. So, after understanding these profound psychological forces, we arrive at the central question: what is the one thing? The answer is not a checklist of behaviors or a script of words to memorize. It is not about pretending to be someone you are not. The single most powerful thing you can do is to cultivate the ability to authentically activate and hold a positive projection of his anima. This is not an act of manipulation where you contort yourself into his fantasy. It is an act of resonant being where your authentic self naturally aligns with the higher expressions of that archetypal image, allowing his inner ideal to feel seen, recognized, and, most importantly, brought to life in the real world. When you achieve this, you become far more than just a partner or a love interest. You become a mirror for his soul. In your presence, he glimpses not a fabricated ideal, but a reflection of his own potential for wholeness. You embody the traits, be it wisdom, creativity, passion, or depth, that resonate with the most developed and positive aspects of his inner feminine principle. This connection is powerful because it is mutual and life-giving. It doesn't ask you to diminish your light but to shine it in a way that illuminates the hidden parts of his own psyche. He is not attracted to a fantasy. He is captivated by the real-world manifestation of qualities his soul inherently recognizes and values. This is why the effect is so instantly and profoundly attractive. You are bypassing the superficial layers of his conscious mind and communicating directly with the most ancient, profound, and unconscious part of his being. The feeling this generates is one of incredible resonance and completion. In your presence, he feels more whole, more inspired, more truly himself because you are engaging with the part of him that holds the keys to his creativity, his emotional depth, and his capacity for love. It is the feeling of coming home, not to a place, but to a state of being. This transcends mere physical attraction or compatible interests. It is a meeting of souls, or more precisely, a meeting where one soul recognizes its missing piece in another. This profound level of connection is why this principle is infinitely more potent than any superficial tactic or game. While those may grab his attention for a moment, they speak only to his ego or his basic instincts. Activating the anima, however, speaks directly to his soul. It answers a deep, often unarticulated longing for meaning, understanding, and profound connection. It transforms attraction from a simple reaction into a powerful, magnetic pull toward a sense of completeness and self-discovery. This is the foundation upon which not just initial attraction, but lasting, transformative love is built. Jung observed that the anima does not manifest in a single, fixed form within a man's psyche, but rather evolves through a series of stages, each representing a different level of maturity and depth in his relationship with the feminine, both within himself and in the outer world. While a man may be initially captivated by a woman who embodies an earlier stage, it is the woman who can authentically connect with him through the higher, more developed stages who creates the most intense and lasting form of attraction. This progression moves the connection from the purely instinctual to the transcendent, charting a course from biology to soul. The most foundational stage is often referred to as Eve, representing the biological and instinctual level of attraction. This is the anima in its most primal form, connected to the raw life force, nature, and physicality. A woman who embodies this aspect is fully present in her body and radiates a vital, earthy energy. It's not merely about conventional beauty, but about an undeniable vitality and a powerful sense of being alive. This is the attraction to the life-giving principle itself, the source of primal desire and physical connection. It is the necessary ground from which all deeper connection grows, but it is only the beginning of the journey. As the anima develops, it takes on the form of Helen, moving beyond the purely physical into the realm of the romantic and aesthetic. Here, the attraction is to beauty, art, romance, and creativity. This is not just about being beautiful, but about inspiring beauty and feeling. A woman who connects with a man on this level might do so through a shared love of art, a deep appreciation for music, or the ability to create moments of genuine romance and poetic feeling. She represents the idealizable feminine, the muse who ignites his creative passions and inspires him to see and create beauty in the world. This stage elevates the relationship from the physical to the emotional and imaginative. A further evolution brings the anima to the stage of Mary, which embodies the spiritual capacity for love, compassion, and devotion. This represents a significant shift from inspiration to a deeper, soulful connection. The feminine here is seen as redemptive, nurturing, and unconditionally loving. A woman who resonates at this level creates a profound sense of emotional safety and spiritual sanctuary. She is perceived as possessing a deep capacity for empathy and unconditional positive regard, making a man feel truly seen, accepted, and loved for who he is at his core, beyond his achievements or persona. This stage fosters a bond of deep trust and soulful intimacy. The highest and most developed stage of the anima is Sophia, named for the Greek goddess of wisdom. This represents the archetype of wisdom, insight, and ultimate meaning. The attraction here is to the mind and spirit in its most profound expression. A woman who embodies this aspect is a guide to self-knowledge and purpose. She engages him in conversations that matter, challenges his thinking, and offers not just answers, but deeper questions. She is a mirror for his own potential for wisdom. The key takeaway is that while all stages play a role, the woman who can connect with a man on the level of Sophia, wisdom, and meaning, creates the deepest and most irresistible bond. This is the ultimate attraction, being with a woman who doesn't just complete him, but who helps him understand himself, feeling like a guide to his own soul. It is crucial to understand that this process is not about performance or fabrication. You cannot and should not attempt to fake a depth you do not possess. The entire mechanism of projection and anima activation is rooted in authenticity. It responds to genuine being, not clever imitation. Therefore, the most powerful and effective way to cultivate this ability is to turn inward and focus on cultivating your own depth. You activate his anima not by trying to become his ideal, but by first courageously embracing your own wholeness. This journey begins with you, by building a rich and complex inner life that naturally resonates with the higher expressions of the feminine archetype. The first and most fundamental step is to be a person who is passionately engaged with life itself. This means actively developing your own interests, ideas, and a sense of purpose that is entirely your own. A man is profoundly turned on by a woman who has a fire in her soul, not one whose world revolves solely around him. This passion is magnetic because it signals a fullness of being. You are a complete universe he is invited to explore, not an empty vessel waiting to be filled. This inner world, fueled by your curiosity, creativity, and drive, provides the substantive material that his unconscious mind can resonate with, offering far more than just a pretty surface to admire. Beyond having your own world, the key is to invite him into it through intellectual and emotional engagement. This means moving beyond small talk and daring to engage his mind. Ask deep questions about his beliefs, his fears, and his dreams. Share your own thoughts on life, philosophy, and what you find meaningful. Be genuinely curious about the landscape of his inner world. This act of deep curiosity is a powerful form of validation, and it signals that you are interested in the core of who he is, not just his job or his accomplishments. This kind of conversation is the language of the soul, and it directly speaks to the highest stages of the anima. Furthermore, this connection requires the courage to be emotionally present and receptive. True, soul-level attraction thrives in an atmosphere of psychological safety and vulnerability. This means cultivating the ability to be a person with whom he can be real, without fear of judgment or ridicule. It's about listening not to reply, but to understand, and offering empathy rather than unsolicited solutions. This emotional receptivity makes you a sanctuary, a place where he can set down the weight of his persona and be truly seen. This quality resonates deeply with the nurturing, compassionate aspects of the developed anima, creating a bond of immense trust. Ultimately, and most importantly, All of this must be rooted in the unwavering commitment to being your authentic self. The anima is about essence, not a checklist of traits to perform. It is the unique energy, wisdom, and spirit that you alone possess. Your individual quirks, your specific passions, and your personal journey are what make your essence magnetic. When you are genuinely and unapologetically you, you stop trying to fit a mold and instead become a singular force. This authenticity is irresistible because it is the only thing that can truly resonate with the soul of the right man, creating a pull that is not only powerful but destined to last. So, the number one thing that turns on 99% of men isn't a trick or a superficial tactic learned from a dating manual. It is depth. It is your ability to authentically connect with the deepest, most meaningful part of himself, a part that often remains hidden even from his own conscious understanding. This journey into the heart of attraction reveals that the most magnetic force is not about manipulating the surface, but about resonating with the soul. It moves beyond the realm of simple chemistry and into the profound territory of spiritual and psychological alignment. This entire process is ultimately about becoming a woman of substance, not for him, but for yourself. It is about cultivating a life so rich with passion, curiosity, and authentic purpose that you naturally become a source of inspiration. When you embody this wholeness, you do not need to seek approval or attract through pretense. You simply become a mirror that reflects his own potential for growth and depth. You inspire him to be a better man not by demanding it, but by effortlessly embodying the very qualities that speak to the highest ideal within him, encouraging him to rise to meet that standard himself. If this dive into the depths of Jungian psychology has offered you a new lens through which to view connection and provided value to your understanding, then please consider supporting this channel. Hit the like button below if this resonated with you, and subscribe for more content that seeks to move beyond the surface and explore the true complexity and depth of human connection. I would also love to hear your own experiences and reflections in the comments below. What is your take on the anima? Have you ever experienced or recognized this kind of profound, soul-level connection? Your insights are a valuable part of this ongoing conversation. Thank you for watching.